The whole arrest procedure was very demeaning. I was terrified. Nobody cared if I was terrified. I was treated like a horrible, horrible criminal. And here I was, a 52-year-old grandmother of 5.
People like Sheila who struggle with a mental illness all too often end up under the care of a warden instead of a doctor. And a prison cell is a far cry from a doctor's office.
Nobody cared about what was going on in here and in here. Nobody cared. I was just treated, handcuffed, fingerprinted, thrown in a paper gown, thrown down on a slab.
With a new program called Jail Diversion in Oakland County, people suffering from a mental illness who commit misdemeanors like disorderly conduct can avoid Sheila's fate if they agree to instead receive treatment for their mental health issues.
It works this way. If a peace officer encounters a nonviolent misdemeanant who he believes to be mentally ill, what he can do is give him an option of either treatment and counseling in lieu of a criminal charge. Now, if the person cooperates and successfully complies with a treatment or counseling program for a period of 30 days, then those charges may be dropped. It's one of many, many programs that the Oakland County is providing, and with the help of Easter Seals in particular and Oakland County Community Mental Health, we're succeeding in getting many people out of the county jails who are desperately in need of treatment.
Our criminal justice system and our jails aren't set up, designed, or equipped to really provide treatment for individuals once they're incarcerated. Some folks who commit serious, crimes need to be incarcerated, and we know that. But for a lot of folks who are committing nonviolent misdemeanor offenses, statistics and my experience has showed that they're much better treated, and the prognosis is much better if we can get them treatment in the community as opposed to in the jail.
The benefits of jail diversion are many. For starters, it promises to reduce nuisance calls for police departments.
Dispatch, I have a potential jail diversion candidate. I'll be taking him to the Southfield Clinic.
We're going to make sure that this is a program that is helpful to officers, because a lot of these folks that we're diverting, the officer won't be seeing that person sort of cycle through the system on a repeated basis. So they won't be back at that street corner or the party store creating a disturbance. If we can get them plugged into some treatment, we can really sort of cut off that behavior that leads to those crimes.
Nipping these problems in the bud will also help reduce the prisoner population in Michigan's jails by treating the underlying root cause of criminal behavior.
It's kind of common lore that the county jails are the largest mental health institutions in our state. And depending on the county jail, they'll tell you that there's sometimes approaching half of the population have some form of mental illness or substance abuse problem. And so therefore, these are people, a lot of them are in jail because their mental illness has caused them to commit some type of misdemeanor crime. A lot of times it's something as simple as loitering or creating a public nuisance. But because they're uncooperative, they keep getting extra sanctions imposed on them, and they may end up spending a long time in jail. And certainly when they're in jail, they're a vulnerable population. They're at risk for abuse from other prisoners, and they are also at risk because they're not getting mental health treatment.
Sheila Pilato knows what it's like to be on the receiving end of abuse from other prisoners.
Well, of course, then you get harassed, and they want you to come out, and we had to go out and eat. And I smelled this hot dog, and it smelled rotten, and I commented on it, and one of the other girls climbed over the table, and she was going to attack me for complaining about the food. The whole thing was just, like right now I can feel it inside. It was so scary. It was so scary.
From the standpoint of the criminal justice system, the benefits of jail diversion are obvious.
It will reduce the caseload, hopefully somewhat, that will help in the court, it will help with prosecutors, but most importantly, it's actually bringing people into the justice system who should be there, who need to be there, who need punishment, who need rehabilitation services that population is not subject to. The mental health population needs different services than what the jail provides. what the criminal justice system provides. And we need to focus all our resources on criminal defendants and those who actually need jail services, prison services.
The impetus behind jail diversion in Oakland County was an unlikely one. Easter Seals, an organization traditionally associated with helping disabled kids.
Well, Easter Seals is really, they started the whole momentum, and they actually are the ones who said we have to look at this population. We are not serving the mental health population appropriately. Because of the lack of places to put people and get help for people who have mental health issues, a lot of them have become criminalized and put in the jail. And Easter Seals sat back and said that's not the place for people who need treatment. They need to go someplace. They need medications, and they need the ability to function in our society, which many of them have that perfect ability. So Easter Seals was really in the forefront of the whole mental health issue and how we criminalize or decriminalize mental health in this country.
They say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And for Sheila, being out of jail means that she is around for her children and grandchildren. What better form of treatment can there be?
I'm just so happy. I love it. It just, brings these are tears of joy. The other tears you saw were not. These are tears of joy because that's just what they bring me. And I'm just really, really happy now.